Hello. My name is Sharon and Bill 7974 asked me to speak about his new project for slot car drag racing. It is the 1/25th scale Chevy S-10 Pro stock drag truck. Mods, extending the cab, and we will test it and run it. It will look something like the real Chevy S-10 extended cab version. He got the two regular Chevy S-10 on eBay, link provided below.
Some items you will need for the build. This is the razor saw. Got it off Amazon about 5 years ago, and it's still there. You will need this. Some sprues. You're going to need some of these, or plastic trees. Stiff ones, not the puny ones. And a spruce cutter. It helps. Various grits of sandpaper and a small wooden block and a round dowel. It's about 1/4 inch. CA glue. I use the medium. Zap-A-Gap, and also the epoxy or similar for models. This is Bob Smith Industries. Cures in 30 minutes, but allow it 24 hours to dry fully. And you can never have enough of measuring devices. This is a piece of styrene plastic. It's for under the roof for stiffness after you've made your cuts. Thickness is 0.060 inches thick, and along with this some small clamps from Micro Mark, got some years ago. And also to heat that plastic up on the small setting, use your heat gun. This really helps. You don't need much heat. And don't forget the most important safety gear is the N95 safety and fiberglass respirator. This is one of the ABS-like resin 3D printed 1/25th scale Chevy S-10 Outlaw drag body. This model looks very sturdy and is weighty, but it was actually $9 less than the plastic styrene model shown on the net. It is 68 grams, double that of our 1966 Chevy 2 Nova, made of plastic styrene. I made a JPEG photo of the Chevy S-10 and got it to the same size dimensions, made 2 copies, and the miracle is happening. Before I start cutting the bodies, I had to wait a few days before the Mid-America chassis came in the mail. I bought a 1/24th Edge 2 drag kit unassembled with a Super 16D motor with no body. Now, if you want to go ahead and purchase the chassis only, Mid-America has the part number PAR 583, but I was a little late, so I had to get the whole kit. This is good. This is great. There's only one thing that had to be modified. Mid-America chassis in the front, PAR 583. In back is our ABS-like resin 3D printed 1/25th scale 94 to 2004 Chevy S-10 Outlaw drag body and wing. Of course, I had this extension here is 5/8 of an inch. So that means everything will have to be elongated, extended 5/8 of an inch. So our chassis came up a little short. And what I did here in the front is to drill another hole for our front axle to make it look good. I was hoping I didn't have to drill this, but I did. I don't know how many of you were watching the 70 Chevelle SS John Wick build, but I could not drill that out because of the stainless steel hardness. It was the same chassis, so I braced everything this time, used cutting oil with a 1/16 inch high-speed steel drill bit, and got it done without breaking the bit. Dude! Oh, and by the way, the body is not cut yet. That's that JPEG photo. One of the videos I accidentally erased. It involves the compass, so I set it to 5/8 of an inch, set it up on the after door line, and put the point into the after door line, and then drew it on the truck, not once, twice, maybe 3 times, and then went back over it with a ruler to make sure we got that line. Once you have all the lines drawn, you want to go ahead and cut these sprues to the inside dimension of the truck and glue on one side to the other side, not on the line, but just after. This is because when you start cutting, you want something stable and strong. You don't want them wiggling around. You don't want that saw wiggling around or the body wiggling around. And then after the body is cut and it's glued back together again, then you can go ahead and remove those sprues, sand them down as required, and doesn't even look like they've been there. this is where our masking tape comes into view. Besides our line, we got a backup with our masking tape. This is the first initial cut using the razor saw. I didn't film the whole cut because the exhaust fan is not running. Kind of loud, and I'll turn that on later. Also, I didn't want the camera getting all that sawdust resin in it. After several applications of the CA glue, filling in only where the front and back come together to form the whole truck, leaving no excess around, that CA glue is great, but hard to clean up after it's dried. So we will cut our sprues out using a sanding Dremel inside the body, making preparations for the 060 styrene plastic stiffeners and epoxy glue, letting it dry overnight. The other two pieces are for the side doors. Now mix 5 to 10 drops each of the epoxy and put just enough for the center as marked because those clamps will force it out to all sides. Success. The chassis lines up, everything lines up. It's just a simple matter of doing some body work. And I think what I'm going to go ahead and do, see the window area for the window. I'm going to make a little piece here, fill that in, but hey, it worked. One day later, I like using the Bondo glazing and spot putty for filling in all imperfections. Let's move on. Well, the blending of the body lines took the longest. It wasn't the vertical line that we cut and glued back together to make our extended cab. It was this line right here and this line right here. Those took the longest to go ahead and blend, put it all together. Blending, fine-tuning, etc. I think we can live with this. Couple coats of primer and it's off to the chassis shop to mount the body to the chassis. You can reference that in the link provided below. The body is pinned to the chassis. Rear wing is on, supported by brass rod, taped on now. Detachable parachute installed. Now it's time for the top coat. Paint the details, add some decals, and it's off to the slot car drags.
Well, Bill, I see you have your Chevrolet S-10 done and can't wait to race it. But it looks so nice. Will it be able to handle the quick 16?
Of course it will, Sharon. Let's go.
Well, I was having some problems with the down the track camera, but the one at the start line will do. Also, I didn't mention that we have a 358 cubic inch engine inside our little Chevy S-10. Probably the rev limiter set for 10 grand with a power glide. And let's get going. Let's test. Not bad for the RT. ET 1.145, speed 9.53 miles an hour. Very good. Little Chevy S-10. A few things. That resin body a little bit heavier than normal. The normal little plastic, styrene plastic car. Also, the extension didn't help any, but the speed is okay for my little track. Let's get going. Test and tune number 2. Pre-stage is lit. Staged. 038. ET 1.101. Speed 9.91. Getting quicker, little S-10. I know, it's a little slower than most, but I got the default controller set on the lowest speed. Plus, we're not operating on 12 volts. It's only 9. I don't need it going through the garage wall. Thank you very much. We'll do this, the final one. Red light. Ooh, a little too quick. 10:09. Cool. Our S-10 exceeded our expectations. Shouldn't have red lit though. Thanks for watching, YouTubers.